Life is short, though I keep this from my children. Life is short, and I've shortened mine in 1,000 delicious, ill-advised ways. 1,000 deliciously ill-advised ways I'll keep from my children. The world is at least 50% terrible, and that's a conservative estimate, though I keep this from my children. For every bird, there is a stone thrown at a bird. For every loved child, a child broken, bagged, sunk in a lake. Life is short, and the world is at least half terrible. And for every kind stranger, there is one who would break you, though I keep this from my children. I am trying to sell them the world. Any decent realtor walking you through a real shithole chirps on about good bones. This place could be beautiful, right? You could make this place beautiful. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Dr. Boddy? Dr. Kavanaugh?
Present.
Ms. Hodgen? Mrs. Lawrence?
Here.
Ms. Lilji? Mr. Lopez? Mrs. Moore?
Present.
Dr. Rodriguez? Present. Mrs. Willis? Present. Quorum is present.
Thank you very much. Any additions to the agenda this evening? Seeing none, I would like to start our meeting with a presentation from our junior board. And I'd like to invite Ms. Terry Bernero to the podium to give us a little introduction.
Thank you, Madam President, Board of Education trustees, Superintendent Ben, and executive team members. I am Terry Bernero. I'm the Director of CTE and Future Promise Scholar programs in the Lansing School District. I also have the privilege to be the district advisor to the Junior Board of Education this year. I was planning on this being a student-centered presentation, but the president of the junior board has one of his last baseball games today, and he chose that over coming here. So pretend I'm Brett View, a senior from Eastern. First slide, please. Who's helping me with this? Help yourself. Thank you. 10 things we want you to know about the junior board. The first thing is the history. It is a long-standing tradition in the Lansing School District, started over 25 years ago. Our historian on the board, Dr. Rodriguez, thinks it was started under President Nancy Erickson. And a little fun fact, one of our school advisors, Aaron Mendez, was on the junior board when he was in high school. So it's been around that long. Our mission, the mission is to support everything that you do at this level. It is also an opportunity for the students to have a voice in the Lansing School District. As educators, we know the most powerful impact that can happen in a classroom is for teachers to give their students voice. And so we're trying to do that on a larger scale in the Lansing School District. Our purpose is to represent their peers and be the ambassadors to the Board of Education, which is their hope that you will be responsive to their needs, their questions, and insights. Next, I would like to introduce Carrie Christian from Sergio Keck's office to do the next couple of slides for us.
Greetings, everyone. It's a privilege to be here, and it's also been a privilege to serve our junior board as a district advisor as well. So our participants, the fourth thing we'd like you to know about, let's see, I think I hit the green button. Hey, that's pretty cool. So the fourth thing that we'd like you to know is how the participants are selected for the junior board. It can be numerous ways. It could be through an election, it could be through the principal, the counselor, even teachers and advisors can recruit students that show promise, potential, and really want to look out for their peers. So we wait for those referrals. We inquire for those referrals. So for Everett, Eastern, and Sexton High School, there's one freshman, one sophomore, one junior, one senior, and then one staff advisor for each of those high schools. There's also Dwight Rich, Wood Creek, Post Oak, and Gardner, who each have 2 7th graders, 2 8th graders, and 1 staff advisor. Our Board of Education liaison is Robin Moore, and Miss Rachel Lewis preceded her this year, so thank you so much for that. And district advisors are Sergio Keck, Terry Bernero, and Carrie Christian, myself. The fifth thing that we'd like you to know is that we do have an election of officers, and they will serve a 1-year term. And the students who come to junior board meeting will elect after the first meeting, usually the second meeting, I would say. This year, our president, who currently served, is Brent, who we know is at his baseball game right now. He's a senior at Eastern High School. Our vice president is Naomi Johnson, junior at Everett High School. Secretary is Lila Toole, who is an 8th grader at Post Oak Academy, who will be transferring over to Eastern next year. And our treasurer is Raquel Mendez, who is a junior at Eastern High School. I would like to hand it over to our Vice President, Naomi, and our Secretary, Lila, to finish our presentation this evening.
Hello, thank you all for having me. We will start off with our meeting schedule. October through December, we had in-person schedule. January and February, we did virtual. And March through May, we did hybrid. We would like to thank Seduxo for bringing food to each meeting. Our meeting structure for each meeting was mimicking the formal structures of the Lansing BOE meeting. The meeting agenda and minutes, we did president runs the meeting and votes on all important matters. Additionally, each school gives a school report that includes the following items: school info, school name, date, and members, good news, areas to improve, and supports needed. I will now hand it off to our secretary, Lila.
At the beginning of this year, after lots of consideration, the junior board chose mental health for our 2-year theme. We started off with a discussion about the pressing issue of school safety. Then we dove into what we believed was making schools unsafe. Although there are many factors, we decided mental health was a factor we could take on in schools. The junior board teamed up with Ms. Jennifer West, the director of school climate, on various occasions to set up projects and discuss strategies on how we can all end the stigma as a community. And for our spring events, the junior board students were lucky enough to go downtown, tour the Capitol, and meet State Representative Sarah Anthony. We also got the opportunity to host Lansing's 3.5 Honors Banquet. We announced, acknowledged, led applause, and ate. We also have the opportunity tonight to attend a Lansing School District Board meeting. Thank you, Ms. Moore, Ms. Willis, Dr. Rodriguez, and the superintendent for attending this year's 3.5 banquet. Also, thank you for having us this evening. We appreciate all that you do for the Lansing School District.
The junior board hosted a 3.5 honors banquet. Junior board president served as the master of ceremonies. Junior board members served as greeters and helpers. Seduxo Magic contest winners read her essay, which was new this year. A senior from each high school performed, which was also new this year. Junior board selected dinner menus, themes, and colors, invitations created by a CTE graphic print tech student, and we would also like to thank Sodexo Magic for also bringing food for our scholars and guests. Is there any questions that you guys have about junior board?
I'm just curious, I'd love to hear from all of you what your favorite thing about it has been.
Well, I can speak for myself right now. My favorite thing so far about junior board is it actually let us have a voice in our school, and they actually are willing to make a change and listen to us as students instead of like only talking to adults, because students, we have input that matters, and junior board supports that.
When you're going to tell us what your favorite thing is, could you also introduce yourself and tell us what school you go to and how long you've been on junior board?
Sorry, my name is Naomi Johnson. I go to Everett High School, and I've been in junior board since in 8th grade. I am now an 11th grader.
I'm Lila Toole. I'm in 8th grade, and I actually was on the junior board in 6th grade before Post Oak went up to 8th grade, but we didn't do it in 7th grade, so technically this is my second year. And I think my favorite thing about the junior board is it kind of helped me find my passions. I've tried a lot of different extracurricular activities and never really felt like I fit in anywhere until the junior board. I think that one thing I love is expressing my opinion and helping others express theirs. And I think junior board has helped me grow and learn to be more tolerant and more receptive. So that's my favorite thing.
Hello, my name is Trevor, and my favorite thing about junior board is that I got to meet a bunch of new people. And I'm from Gardner, 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Brooke, and one of my favorite things about junior board was that they actually picked to worry about mental health, because honestly, not many people worry about other people's mental health, and we don't worry about ours either.
Hello, my name is Lola Flores. This is my first year on junior board as a 7th grader. My favorite thing about this experience was that it kind of made the people on the junior board feel like they were important, or like they had a say in what was going on in their community. So.
Okay, my name is Lugman Kamis from Gardner, 7th grade, my first year. My favorite thing about this is whenever I get into the microphone, I get less nervous by every time, and yeah, it's fun.
Before Ms. Moore gives her remarks, the Junior Board of Education would like to thank our district advisors for their dedication, counsel, and leadership to the Junior Board of Education. Mr. Keck, Ms. Moore, Ms. Bonero, and Ms. Christian, please come to the podium to receive a small token of our appreciation.
All of these for me? Get out of here. Yes, that's very nice.
So can I say who I am and what I love so much? My name is Robin Moore, and I serve as an advisor. And what I like about serving on the junior board is serving all of you. You're only going to make me cry because you mean so much to me. You really do. I want to say kudos to the junior board. You all are outstanding. I wish all of our board members were here, but you all are outstanding. And tell your colleagues, your your friends that you all are outstanding, everyone that serves on this board. You did an excellent job hosting the 3.5 honors banquet. I loved the DJ. The music was popping. Y'all missed it. The music was really good. It was nice. Thank you for your leadership, your support in the district. Your voice has been a voice of the students. Remember that. Your voice matters, and your voice has been a voice for the students. You are extremely important to the Lansing School District, and once again, it has been my pleasure serving you all as your board liaison. I want to thank the advisors for their leadership. The students are great because you all are remarkable. You've invested in them. Thank you for serving in your role, and you students have an amazing summer. We're going to continue to work, but you all have an amazing summer. Okay. Do I need to stay up here and help?
Yes, you do. You can put your flowers.
Thank you.
I have one more question for the junior board members. Can you give me a show of hands if you want to be on junior board again?
Yay.
Great.
We have some special certificates for them to remember and also show off when they have their open houses.
Yes.
Lugman, Camise.
Thank you.
Have him stay up, yes. Lila Toole. Sure. Trevor Dean.
I appreciate it.
Sure. Brooke Furby. Naomi Johnson. Lola Flores. We'd also like to give a special thank you to those advisors that are here tonight. They really, they're on the front lines with these students, and they see what we don't see, and they're here advocating and building those really strong relationships that make community, and we're really grateful for them. Pam Collins. This is, Pam is an advisor for Everett High School. Annette Shaver, advisor for Gardner. And Miss Angela Morris from Post Oak. We'd also like to give a special certificate to our board liaisons, previous and current, Rachel Willis and Robin Moore.
Next slide.
Okay. If you all would like, we would love to have a photo with you. Good.
And the horseshoe. Come on, Paolo. Students, show your certificate.
All right, certificates apply, guys. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Smile. You can tell them you're not.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight, and I want you students to know that we're just keeping these chairs warm for you. Thank you, everyone. We will move on now to our report from Superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. It was wonderful to have the presentation. Today was a kind of a great day in the district. The governor and former governor and some folks were at Riddle to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the MET program, which is basically savings for college or trade school, which is great. We're certainly coming to the end of the year. There's so many things to be proud of and thankful for. And in fact, today I'm going to be telling the board about a lot of these things in a closed session. But I think we all understood where the board president was going with the reading. I am not as symbolic, I guess. For anybody who's had to listen to me since I got here, I try to use this time to think about critical things. As a superintendent, your job at the end of the day is to protect children, no matter what. And what happened this week with the murder of 19 children is something that we want to avoid. We want to not discuss because it is so deep. But the lack of us discussing it has created the problem that we have in this country. Now, I am hired by the wonderful people at this board, and I've grown to really love them. And I think they know sometimes I will say my mind. And in no uncertain terms, what happened in Texas is because the United States has terrible gun laws. That is it. When a child turned 18, he was able to buy weapons of death and destruction, weapons of war, weapons of killing. These were not weapons to hunt a deer. These were not even weapons for self-protection. These were weapons to kill, weapons to murder, and weapons to hurt. And they are based on weapons of war. That is unacceptable. As an 18-year-old, he couldn't drink legally. But yet, he was able to buy weapons of war. That is not okay. And for far too long, many of us have said, oh, yeah, I believe this, but, it's not politically okay for me to come out and say these things. We have given up the moral high ground for safety. But to paraphrase Benjamin Franklin, when you give up the moral high ground, you do not deserve safety. It is time that all educators around this country stand up and say the truth, which is America has terrible gun laws. Now, to quote Lincoln, the world will little note nor long remember what we say here. I assume all of you in the audience have met me before. All 7 people listening at home probably have met me before. And it is quite possible that nobody will be moved nor hear what I say. But that doesn't mean that we don't say it. We have to take the moral high ground. Now, if there is some random person actually listening to what I say, what you might not know is that not only have I been an activist for anti-gun violence work for pretty much my entire adult life, I am also a distinguished expert marksman, which means that if you stand about 50 yards away, I can take a dime out of your hand, and on a bad day, I can take a nickel out of your hand. So this is not a person who has no understanding of guns. No, I will protect you all, I promise. This is not somebody that doesn't understand how to use a gun or why one might have one. But we have to just speak truth to power. And the truth is, America has terrible gun laws. And everybody here has to stand up for this. Because the irony here is that in 1981, when President Reagan was shot and almost killed, a supermajority of this country believed in gun control laws. And even today, a majority of Americans believe in sensible gun control laws. But yet, because we are in some respect the silent majority, we have not been able to move the needle. And I have made a promise to this community that every time I speak, I will give the bus route numbers and the CATA numbers, and I will break that promise tonight, because this is so important that the new promise I must make is that every time I speak in a public setting like this, we need to couch our language in a way that is about the safety and security of our children, about standing up for what is right, and standing up for safety and love. I could go on, because all of you have heard me speak a lot, but I am really struck thinking about the Gettysburg Address, where Lincoln basically gave a 300-word speech. And what he says over and over again is that the deaths on that field are what consecrate that field, and that their noble sacrifice is what we have to remember. And so those children in Texas had no idea they were going to go sacrifice themselves. In the Civil War, it was pretty clear what was going to happen. But they consecrated that ground. And in some respects, they have consecrated every classroom around the country. And so we must remember them, because if not, this not only will happen again, which it will, but the pain of going through this again will be deadened and made mute for our lack of remembering. And so it's time for all educators, for all parents, for all people who love children, that they cannot be silent anymore. Yes, you might believe that we need sensible gun control. Yes, you might believe that weapons of war should not be in the hands of 18-year-olds, let alone 50-year-olds. But if we don't stand up and we don't act, it will continue. So I will pause and ask that everybody take a moment of silence for not just the children that were murdered and the teachers that were murdered, but like Robert Kennedy said when he was informed of Martin Luther King's assassination, we must say a prayer for our country and for our families and for everybody. Please take a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Now, to bring at least some jovialness and positivity to this meeting, we have a video like we always do, or, did you know? So can we hit the video?
Every year, for the last 20 plus years, I've seen a group of students, Latinos students, come and graduate and go and do great things after graduation from Lansing schools. I also see students that have graduated, have chosen to go to work, and are being very successful in their job of choice. So that is why I'm honored to serve on the Lansing School Board of Education, and I thank you for your support in allowing me to stay here for all this long time. So again, thank you for being here. Let's give it up for these kids, graduates of 2022, and let's have a good time. Let's celebrate, okay?
So I was handed this when I walked into this building, and I was thinking long and hard about putting this on. I'm a white guy from Brooklyn, right? And there's been a lot made about cultural appropriation, about people taking other people's heritages and either using it as their own or somehow using it in a negative way. But there's something really positive about how we can respect each other's cultures and how we can support each other's cultures. And so I put this on today to respect and to thank and to cherish the community that is in front of me.
I knew I wanted to make a difference in the world, no matter how small. I wanted to make my voice heard. I wanted to leave a positive mark on society, even if it was small, even if it was one person at a time. And I asked you to think of two things when I deliver this speech. What are your goals and dreams? And what are you doing to make an impact in the world? Do you realize how significant you are? You are significant. You are the wind, the sun. You are the storm. You carry the very seeds that needed for the future to grow and flourish. It is in your blood that runs through your veins that makes you so incredible. If you have an opportunity to make a difference and you don't, you are wasting your time on this earth. You are in charge of what you choose in life. And the question I leave you with is, how are you going to make an impact on the world?
My grandpa came over to the United States when he was 19 years old. He had a 6th grade education back in Mexico. After 6th grade, he then got a job and worked for his entire life to provide for him and his family. I'm extremely thankful for my grandpa, and I know I'm making him and my family proud. As graduating the class of 2022 and a member of the Hispanic and Latino community, I hope to inspire other students in Lansing School District to pursue and achieve higher education, especially to my friends and family. I'm glad to be here tonight with you all and the accomplishments of all of us graduates. I hope that every one of you continue to achieve your dreams and to continue to be successful.
My heritage has played a role in my life by helping me see that there are people out there who will put me down because of who I am and also because of me being mixed Mexican and Puerto Rican. For high school and just for life in general, my heritage has taught me that no matter what I do, I have to work hard and don't depend on others, because if you do, then you'll sit back the whole time and be waiting for others to do things for you. I have to stand up and get things done now and don't wait on no one. I was also taught by my mother that as a Latina, I have to stay strong strong, and no matter what I go through, if it's bad or good, to always keep my guard up and do what's best for me. My experience being in Lansing School District, being a Latina, I had a couple downs, but I know where I stand, and I stand up for myself, and I made sure to speak up for myself. I'm happy and proud to say that I'm a Latina and I love my heritage. I learned that you can achieve anything in life as long as you put your mind to it and you stay motivated and consistent to that dream or goal you want to reach and achieve.
Es un honor estar aquí representando a la comunidad de latinos y hispanos. Para mí esto es algo especial llegando a este momento de mi vida porque hemos luchado mucho para llegar aquí. Pero no podemos olvidarnos de cómo llegamos aquí. Quiero agradecer a mi papá y mi mamá y a todos los padres y madres, tíos, tías que hicieron todo esto posible. Por venir a los Estados Unidos por una mejor vida para ellos y a sus hijos. Yo sé que era muy difícil llegar aquí. Por eso los admiro a mi comunidad y a todos ustedes. El esfuerzo de ustedes es la puerta de las miles de oportunidades que nos dio a nosotros. Entonces podemos dar un fuerte aplauso a todos los papás, mamás, tíos y tías por lo que han hecho para nosotros.
Congratulations to all of you. Any place I go, they are telling us we have to create the future leaders, a new generation of leaders. When I was giving you the certificate, when everybody here was shaking hands with you, we were doing with a leader. You are a leader. You are a leader of yourself. You are a leader of your family, the community, the values that you represent. You are a leader, like Cesar Chavez was a leader. You are a leader because sí se puede, and you can, because you graduate.
May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace now and forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you so much for that great video. Again, a huge shout out to our communications department for everything that they do. You are all really, really terrific. And with that, that is the superintendent's report, and I hand it back to the president.
Thank you very much, Ben. Was the final prayer from Clyde Carnegie?
Yes.
My high school principal. Go Big Reds.
Yes, very good. Great.
Good old Dr. Carnegie. We're going to move on to routine matters and old business this evening. First up, we have a facilities committee. Mr. Lopez is not with us this evening, so I'm going to try to remember if we had a facilities meeting, and we talked about some things that are in your packet this evening. There is a food service dishwasher. We talked about that. We talked about sometimes I leave my materials here. John, what else did we talk about?
Unfortunately, I have the agenda right here.
Perfect.
We talked about just make sure our athletic fields were properly maintained. Request to change the Eastern football field logo at center field. Again, the food service dishwasher. This is a big conveyor one at the Hill Center for the Food Preparation. That recommendation's on the board agenda. We have some soon to have some bids out and recommendations for to hopefully resolve some of the heat controls at Sexton that occurred this past year, and projects, energy project updates and sinking fund projects for this upcoming year. And then we officially released the RFPs to sell the vacant land at Otto, not the building that was sold, but the 8 acres of land. And then also the Ed Center too behind us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lang. I will be able to answer theoretically, I'll be able to answer questions if board members have questions about facilities. Okay. All right, moving on to the Promise Committee. Mr. Lopez, again, is not here, but we have a dinner, a big dinner coming up June 9th. Dr. Rodriguez, what else do you have?
Thank you very much. I attended the meeting representing all of you.
Thank you.
And it was really a long meeting, starting by 3 new members. And after that, a really very detailed going over the budget, the whole year budget because of the end of the year. And that is done really by the Jackson Bank. And it's a very good explanation of what is going on. After that, we had to say that this year is going to give to Lansing School District 269 scholarships. And then after that, we had a conversation about readiness. And after we talk, I think that they are going to focus on something that we are also interested in reading with the students after 3rd grade. Then let's see how we can do together in that. The other thing really important was the LEAF join to Promise. The LEAF is an assistant, but is part of Promise. And Promise is going to be doing the goals, I hope, the LEAF was having or very similar goals. About the dinner and the extravaganza, let's go to put that way, that we are going to have June 9th. What I am going to do, I'm going to send to you the email that I received for Justin, that you can see what is going on from 6 to 8:30. And before that, it's going to be in the Lagnat Stadium, and I will send you these 2 emails, and you have questions, you can ask me, and I can ask him whatever you decide. I think we were talking about the Promise Foundation and the Promise Zone, because these two different organizations. Then Guillermo belonged to one, and I belong to the other one, but we are doing the meetings together. Then, and after that, we had different discussion about different topics, but was a very productive meeting, Madam President.
Dr. Rodriguez, did you tell us last time who are the new board members?
I can find out and send it to you. I can find out and send to you the names and all that. There are 3 new ones. Then I will find out the names and the organization that they represent. And I will send to you all the names, all the people who belong to Promise.
Okay.
All the names that you will have, all that. I think it's important for us to have present who belong to this Promise. And the Promise on the Promise Zone, you need to know who is there, who is the president, who is the secretary, who is the treasurer, and who is the vice president. Because Mr. Kelly Dean is president for both.
Okay, thank you.
That's what my intelligence can do.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Moving on to Equity Committee, Mrs. Willis.
Thank you, Madam President. The district has received our draft executive summary of the equity audit. It's still draft because all of the applicable appendices are not yet finalized. And Mr. Superintendent, I meant to clear this with you before today's meeting, but I have scheduled a meeting to meet with Dr. O'Neill to go through like a chart for progress forward based on those recommendations, just to get us like a high level overview of, hey, these are the recommendations, this is how we should move forward with it, and so we can keep this moving. So apologies for not asking you about that sooner, but that's the next steps where we are, is to take this executive level summary and put it into a one-pager for the 8 recommendations of where we want to go from here. So that concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mrs. Willis? All right, Policy Committee, Dr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. We are going to make the motion somebody tonight about all the 7 different policies that we have. I hope that you have time to read them. And I can promise you that we did with the administration and the person from Neola. I confuse Naleo Neola. And they was studied very carefully. I think I talked with the other two representative of the board and the policy committee. We had to study the role of the vice president, secretary, and all that in here, but also I think we need to check in the policies about security in the district. I don't know if you have one or not. If you don't have it, we had to create it, and we had to have policies that can be operational for all buildings the best we can. But we need to go back to the policies and with the opportunity to maybe cost money or whatever, but we need to have policies regarding that. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Ad hoc Committee on Strategic Plan, Mrs. Moore. I know you've been busy. She looks at me.
Yes. So first I want to say it's going great. We have been discussing extending our timeline, and Ben, please chime in if you'd like. And we're doing this for the respects of the workload of the staff over the summer. We don't want to rush the process. This work is extremely important, and we want to be very intentional about the work. So it looks like our timeline will be June, finalizing the audit, July, analyzing the data, and then August, we'll reconvene and plan to complete the strategic plan between September and December. Next, I'd like to update you all on the survey. Ben, please chime in if you need to. There has been, it looks like the district is also sending out a few surveys. So the Strategic Planning Committee decided to combine the surveys to minimize the number of surveys going out. So that's our update on the surveys. And John actually has the timeline on which, or the date the survey will be going out. I don't think it's out yet. Is the survey? Yep, it's not out yet. So you want to chime in and say something?
Yeah, sure. Just, one of the things that's super important for strategic planning as well as just running a good district is to getting the voice of everybody. And so rather than subject everybody to 3 or 4 different surveys, we're putting together a kind of a larger survey, which will take some time for parents, for teachers, for students, community members. We're hoping to get it out by next week. For us, we want to also make sure that they're translated into the appropriate languages. So that takes a little bit of time as well. But we are looking at next week, if not the week after. And it'll be open. Just if anybody's looking at a calendar, you will realize that will be the end of school. We'll keep the survey open for a couple of weeks. That way you'll have time to spend to get them done. So it's been great. And I mean, you gave me the mic, so that's the problem here, is I just want to really thank you, Robin, and for everybody on this committee. I don't know how many of you have seen just how many meetings and how much work people are doing. It's been really terrific, and getting parents and kids and teachers, educators involved has been great. So.
Okay, I would like to next discuss the input sessions, since we're talking about getting community involved. We were able to complete 3 face-to-face sessions. I think it's 84, John's numbers, okay. 84 participants, does that sound about right? 84 participants in our face-to-face sessions. And there was actually a virtual session yesterday, and there were 24 participants. So that's actually great. And that's it for my report for the Strategic Planning Committee, Madam President.
Any questions for Mrs. Moore? Thank you very much. Treasurer's report, Mrs. Moore.
All right. All righty. So, I've got Money Man here. Okay. All righty. So this will be our treasurer report for the period of April 1st through April 30th. The beginning cash investment balance was $30,912,000. Oh, I said that totally wrong. $30,912,790. Receipts totaled $21,815,616, while the disbursements equaled
$25,845,845. The net interfund transfer totaled $9,300,000 and I said that totally wrong. $9,393,191. The money transferred to the general fund for 2016 and 2019 bond expenses was zero. The ending general fund cash and investment balance on April 30th was 36,206,200 and come on, Robin, where am I at? 276,752. The general fund's cash and investment balance is 17,374,052. No, 28. I'm sorry, 28. All righty, y'all. Donations received during the month of April totaled April 2022 totaled roughly 3,291. Donors, the Black Bud Giving Fund, purpose was the Ecolab grant, and that was in the amount of $10. Thank you so much for your donations. Okemos Community Church donated $3,223 to the Lions Playground. Thank you again for your donation. And the Heart of West Michigan United Way Equine Center, I said that wrong, but please excuse me, $57.56. 57 cents, excuse me. Madam President, this concludes the April 2022 Treasurer's Report.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Treasurer Moore? All right, thank you. Our consent agenda for this evening includes the approval of the May 5th regular meeting minutes and May 12th ISS minutes, the receipt and approval of the Treasurer's Report, and approval of a bid recommendation for the above-mentioned food service dishwasher conveyor machine, which is at Hill. Fun fact.
Madam President,
Mrs. Willis.
I move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second. It's been moved by Mrs. Willis, supported by Mrs. Lilje. Any discussion? Will all those in favor of adoption of the consent agenda please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is adopted. Thank you very much. Moving on to action items for this evening. First up, we have a closed session. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Mrs. Willis.
I move that the Board of Education recess into closed session for the purpose of considering periodic personnel evaluation as permitted under Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act.
It's been moved by Mrs. Willis, supported by Mrs. Lilje. Any discussion? Will all those in favor of going into closed session please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are in closed session. We're going to move straight to public comment on non-agenda items. I would like to invite Regina Shelton to join us at the podium. Ms. Shelton, you have 3 minutes within which to make your public comment. Typically, the board does not respond to public comment, and you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. My child is 12 years old and has been a student at Atwood Elementary since 4th grade. He is currently in 6th grade. He's autistic and ADHD. He's in general ed and uses services offered to autistic students. Here's an excerpt of a letter that we received April 4th, 2022. Dear Atwood parents and guardians, we are excited to inform you that your student has been selected to be in our 7th grade class for the upcoming year. When we got this, we were like, yay, happy dance. But then yesterday, I became aware that the Resource Center and contained classroom where autistic students get the critical support that they need during the day has a huge chance of being closed. and that the students using these services would have to go to Gardner next year. 9 days. That's how many days that are left in this school year. 9 days. And this is the first time I've heard about it. And within these 9 days, you're going to make a decision and make a choice about where my child goes to school, even though we've already made that decision. The resource room connects my child to everything and everybody within the school. He's comfortable and familiar with Atwood. As a tech school, it's a good fit. So to intentionally close the resource center, then use its closing as the thing to force him into another school, I feel is wrong. It takes the rug from under his feet. And it's really weighing heavy on him because we talked about it. And he asked me, what about my friends? What about the people who got into trouble? What about the kids who missed a lot of school? Can they go to Atwood next year? If they can go, how come I can't go? I'm mad. Well, me too. There should be no consequences that come with being different. And on top of everything, guess what school is in our neighborhood? Atwood. It is our school of choice. Bottom line, I request that the resource center and the contained classroom stay open at Atwood. Now, if you choose to implement a change for the following year, then so be it. But nothing should be changed for the upcoming school year with just 9 days to go. The only difference between my child and his classmates are the services that he receives because he's autistic. Thank you.
I just want to make sure that we have your name so that I can follow up on that. Thank you. Oh, I have it. Never mind. We're good. Thank you. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much. Report from Secretary and announcements.
Thank you, Madam President. Tomorrow, Friday, the 27th, half day of the school, only in the morning. Monday, May 30th, 2022, Memorial Day, a celebration, then no school. Thursday, June 2nd, 2020, we have regular board meeting at 6 o'clock, but we have another meeting at 4 o'clock p.m. that day. Sunday, June 5th, 2022, grand day for the graduating class. And we will have the celebration of commencement. And that day, we receive all the information regarding that. Then just follow, and has been a big tradition to have all of us there. Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, half-day high schools, and Thursday, June 9th, 2022, half-day high school. Thursday, June 9th, 2022, instructional study sessions meeting has been canceled. Last day of the school, half-day, and last day of the school will be Friday, June 10th, 2022. Thank you, Madam President, and thank you to all students and teachers for this great year of 2001-2022.
Thank you very much, Doc. Any comments from board members this evening?
We had the celebration of Fiesta tomorrow and this weekend. Everybody's invited, and I think that what at the beginning of this meeting was so powerful, and everybody has the power to do something, and we need to do it. As a person, we can do something. Then everybody heard the superintendent and the board president. As a person, if you can do something, let's go do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Any other comments from board members this evening? With no further business before the board, at 8:35, we are adjourned.